Hey, how you doing? Lee K here, and I just felt that I needed to do this video so that we explain a few things about the broadcasting industry in Zimbabwe, especially radio broadcasting. That's what I've been doing for the past 21 years. So apparently it has come to my attention that a couple of people are not aware of what the radio landscape in Zimbabwe really stands as right now. It is not the same as it was 5 years ago. It is not the same as it was 10 years ago. It's not the same as it was 20 years ago or 30 years ago. There have been some developments, and positive developments, if I can also say that especially broadcasters like ourselves are celebrating. Of course, you always have questions about issues like ownership and everything else surrounding that, but these developments are things that we ought to be celebrating, and as we get better, because I believe that Zimbabwe is still very young in terms of radio broadcasting and broadcasting industry. Even though we were broadcasting years ago, in terms of the development of the industry, I feel that we are still young. Remember, it was only in 2012 when new radio stations were licensed and went on air in 2012. So this is why I say, for me, it's pretty young. We're still learning, and I think we'll continue improving. But what is it that I really want to talk about is the fact that it looks like a lot of people are not aware of the differences in ownership, who runs what in terms of radio landscape. So the first thing that I will tell you is that Zimbabwe has adopted successfully the 3-tier radio broadcasting system, which includes public broadcasting, commercial broadcasting, and community broadcasting. Yes, Zimbabwe has achieved that. To add on to that, I would also like to also then say that at the present moment, Zimbabwe has 39 licensed radio stations, the majority of which are already operating and are on air. And this is what I would really like to explain. And I'm going to explain this by also giving you facts about who does what. So the 3-tier system, like I said, comprises of the public broadcasting system, which is our Zimbabwe Broadcasting Corporation. Zimbabwe Broadcasting Corporation being responsible for 6 radio stations, and it's also got the television station. But I want to concentrate on radio broadcasting. So which are the 6 that belong to the Zimbabwe Broadcasting Corporation? The 6 are 4 national radio stations, namely Radio Zimbabwe, formerly Radio 2, Power FM, formerly Radio 3, then 3 FM, and in 2004 became Power FM. We also have Classic 263, formerly Sport FM, formerly SFM, and back in the days it was Radio 1. We also have National FM, which is formerly Radio 4, right? It also has 2 local commercial radio stations, and namely that's Central Radio, which is in Gweru, and we also have Kolomani, which is in Bulawayo. So this is ZBC in terms of radio. We also have the player that came in 2012, which is Zim Papers, which is responsible for most of the publications in Zimbabwe: the Herald, the Sunday Mail, the Kwayedza, the H Metro, B Metro, Sunday News, Manika Post, to name just a few of those publications that they have. In 2012, they went into radio, and the first radio station belonging to Zim Papers was Star FM. In 2012, came on air June 25 in 2012. Then I think a few months after that, maybe 2, in August of 2012, ZFM, belonging to AB Communications, also went on air. Zim Papers, at the present moment, under its belt, has Star FM, which is the national national radio station. It's got a license to broadcast nationally, and so does ZFM, and so do the 4 radio stations belonging to Zim Papers. Zim Papers in 2015 went on air with Diamond FM, which is a local commercial radio station. ZFM, a national radio station, also went on air with Heoi FM, which is in Masvingo, and they also have 98.4, which is in the Midlands, Gweru. Now, what do I want to stress out as I speak about this? Local commercial radio stations are not community radio stations. They were given the mandate to broadcast locally, first of all within a 40-kilometer radius, and that changed, and most of them now broadcast to most of the provinces that they are in. So which are these 8 local commercial radio stations? We have spoken about Diamond FM. There is Skies Metro, and there's Breeze FM in Victoria Falls. Skies Metro is in Bulawayo. That's 3. The first one that went on air is Ya FM, which is in Zishawane. That's 4. We have Diamond FM in Motare. We have Heoi, which is in Masvingo. We have Platinum FM, formerly Nyami Nyami, which is now in Chinoi. Formerly it was in Kariba. And I'm trying to think which one. Capital 100.4 FM, belonging to Zim Papers, which is in Harare. So that makes 8 local commercial radio stations, which are not community radio stations. From the commercial radio stations, and the commercial also includes the 2 national radio stations, which is ZFM and Star FM. We now move to the community radio stations, and 14 of these were licensed. And I managed to attend the official launch of about 5 of them. I think 7 are now on air, and 7 still need to go on air, but 14 were licensed. Some of them that I can speak about off the top of my head include Nyangani FM. It's on air. It includes Ntepe Nama, which is in Gwanda, Locha FM in Bait Bridge. We also have Ndau. We have one in Chimanimani. We have 14 of these local commercial radio stations. Community radio stations. My apologies for that. Community radio stations. Zimbabwe has gone on also to license campus radio stations, and the first one that went on air was GZU, Great Zimbabwe University. MSU is now on air. Harare Poly is running a signal, and we also have Chikomo FM belonging to UZ. The likes of Lupane University also have license that were given to them, and they're still to go on air, but 9 campus radio stations were licensed. So in a nutshell, this is the landscape of the radio broadcasting in Zimbabwe. 39 licensed radio stations, and this is how it looks. And I just wanted you to understand how it stands in Zimbabwe. And so we've got ZBC, which has got Power FM, National FM Radio Zimbabwe, and it also has Classic 263, plus it has Kulumani, and it has Central, which is in Midlands. Zim Papers, which has Star FM, Diamond FM, Capital 100.4 FM, and Platinum FM. AB Communications with ZFM. We also have Heoi and 98.4. Then we have Fair Talk, which has under its belt Skies Metro and Breeze FM. Then we have Ya FM in Zishawane. Those are the 8 local commercial radio stations, 14 community radio stations, 9 campus radio stations. That's how it's looking like. So 39 licensed radio stations in Zimbabwe. 39. Yes, that's how it stands in Zimbabwe.